Hello, friends. After a very brief stint of strength this morning on the part of the market bulls, it was relatively clear that we were not going to see a strong, significant bounce. And as a result of the increased media coverage and fear and market weakness, a lot of our coronavirus names saw substantial upside today. And that's pretty much exactly what we've been talking about in these videos. As long as the market remains weak and as long as more negative news comes out about coronavirus and it spreads, these tickers are going to see increased interest. And a lot of these tickers, I haven't really adjusted my charts since last time. This is a dedicated workstation just for videos. So let's take a look at how much these tickers have moved relative to yesterday, both in price and in where they're sitting on the chart. So APT on the daily time frame, big volume today, and we see a little bit of profit taking, a little bit more than yesterday, but this is relatively healthy. That means we're seeing some ups and downs on the 4-hour time frame, and we have resistance at high of day 1345. We are getting overbought again, and well, still I should say 8403. So as always, I am looking and expecting a turnaround. If we see any sort of stabilization in the spread of the coronavirus, or any sort of positive news, or the return of market strength, where the current status of that coronavirus spread becomes normal and accepted and the market bulls return, we're going to see some fading on these names. Until then, we're going to look to the upside for continuation. We're going to look for the market to continue to go down, and we're going to expect negative news just until we get some sort of sign of hope. And I really do hope that it comes soon, because I'd rather play an overall bull market than just keep covering these names that result in upside because of the spread of just bad news. So APT, overbought on the daily time frame, 1345, no real resistance in sight, right? So let's go check out the 4-hour time frame. How did we get here? Well, we haven't really consolidated too much on the 4-hour, except for a brief stint down here at 920. So if we also saw pullback, bulls have all the way down to 920 to maintain this 4-hour uptrend. And on the hourly time frame, this is that little healthy consolidation that we want to see. We broke 1345. We've established hourly higher low. I'm not confident this is locked in yet, but we definitely have held EMA at 12 and have 1150 acting in our favor. And on the 15-minute time frame, there's that 15-minute higher low. Let's see this 1345. It doesn't matter anymore. So we have healthy equilibrium. We see a nice base at 1150. We see 15-minute higher lows, and we're currently continuing that trend. I would say the first loss of EMA 12 on the 15-minute time frame would result in hourly consolidation and possibly 4-hour consolidation. So watch for that to happen. Watch for increased volume. We want to see a volume climax on these names, and we want to see a loss of this hourly trend. LAKE. So we saw a big break above 1628. I'm going to leave that there because I want to see how much, if at all, that came into play during today's trading action. We opened right above it. We'll see if it held as support. Big volume today and a lot of profit taking. So I don't like to see this in a name. This is generally something we see before we see a lot of pullback. The only reason I don't expect massive pullback in this name as a result of this candlestick configuration is that a lot of the other names haven't seen that. So if Lake is going to be a laggard play, it's the one to keep a close eye on, look for a base of support. And if we see continued upside in all the other names, I would expect Lake to follow. So we blew through 6885. We have high of day resistance. Our RSI is just creeping up in overbought territory, just hitting plus 70 on the 4-hour time frame. We seem to be balancing out a little bit. We had an inside bar. We broke bull, but we didn't get much follow through. And this is an after hours. And let's go see what's going on here. Almost thought that was a wick for a second. Don't want to use that faulty information. 1820 resistance, trying to establish that 4-hour higher low. We've got our low, but we haven't seen bulls set a new higher high yet. And that is interesting. On the hourly time frame, we can see that we are generally moving sideways, allowing the RSI to cool off. I'm a little bit concerned about that 1820 resistance, but as long as we hold EMA 26 on the hourly time frame, things are going to be looking okay. If we lose that EMA support, we're going to expect some daily consolidation, and that's what we expect with this sort of candlestick configuration. Let's go check out 1628 because I want to see how that played into the picture today. We opened right above it initially, just knocked that out. 1820 resistance and sideways chop for most of the day. So relatively indecisive. I'm going to remove 1645, or what was that level? 1620, whatever that was. It's gone. It doesn't matter anymore, and nor does the 1685 level. Does not seem to come into play. We're only going to focus on 1820, and there is a basis support somewhere around 1595 to 1590 that is going to be key for us to watch for tomorrow. So if we open inside this range tomorrow, whoever breaks first generally shows that market intent. We'll keep an eye on pre-market. We'll see how we develop. Right now, 1590 is a must hold, and bulls need to take 1820 for continued upside. So here's one of the names that I thought was pretty remarkable just scanning through my charts. The volume today was impressive. I'm not sure if this earnings was accurate. Someone told me that it was not. But in the daily time frame, it just leaves the chart. It's gone. You got to look way, way up. And that is what I had to do. And I'd scroll, and I kept scrolling, and I'm getting more and more impressed. And it's just an amazing run. Congratulations to anyone who managed to get into CODX. I know there was some news. But if you manage to get in this and take advantage of the overall hype and interest and fluctuation and volatility that's come into these tickers, then congratulations. Massively overbought, almost certainly on most time frames. Resistance established now at 1089. A lot of profit taking in the last candlestick. Overbought 85.51 on the daily RSI level. On the 4-hour time frame, I'm going to be surprised to see much consolidation anywhere, guys. But we've got 1089, and then we have our inside bar here on the 4-hour time frame. And I expect to see a substantial 4-hour high or low. Right now, the only thing we have that's even close to 4-hour support level is now at 417. So that is a massive pullback from where we sit currently in regular trading hours, or I should say after hours, at 978. So let's go look for what that might look like. On the hourly time frame, we're going to be looking for a loss of the last hourly high or low. I'm primarily interested in 713 because that was in a regular market action. And if we're going to see that, we're going to look for the loss of... well, we've already lost 15-minute higher lows. We're consolidating nicely sideways. So I would look to the hourly time frame again. And it's a little bit, there's just a lot of room here. Hourly bulls can drop all the way down to 713 and still be in an hourly uptrend. What's more likely to happen is we will drop, see if we set a lower high on the hourly and develop an hourly downtrend. That will allow sideways consolidation. That will allow the 4-hour RSI to cool off without giving up too much real estate. And on the daily time frame, it's going to allow for that RSI to maybe just cool off a titch and not be so radioactive. But caution on this name. We've seen a lot of run so far. Generally, we don't see much continuation. At least initially, we need to see consolidation on these names. So caution on CODX. And again, congratulations to anyone who caught that. Another example of a big runaway freight train, VIR. Big day yesterday. We saw that Marabuzzo close and that positive bullish interest. And today we see a gap up and it just ran right away. Our high sitting at 36.50. Absolutely incredible. Knocked right through. I wonder if we even hit 29 resistance. That wasn't on my radar yesterday as something that I was even going to be remotely concerned about. We'll see if we smash through it. Daily RSI 77.91. 4-hour time frame has not taken any time to consolidate. Another similar situation here. Last time we saw any sort of 4-hour consolidation was 21.52. On the hourly time frame, we do have one level after hours for us to look at, and then I'm going to be looking at the high pre-market 38 psychological. If we lose 33.10, we're going to be looking for at least hourly consolidation, if not 4-hour. So play that one very cautiously. RSI is overbought, but has been for most of today. And this is when we start looking at these RSI levels and paying less attention to RSI levels. We're always going to keep them in the back of our mind, but we're going to be looking for weakness in the form of trend changes. NVAX, another big day. A lot more profit taking in this name. Not nearly as much volume relative to the previous days, but we have 1121 resistance. I suspect that the bears have controlled most of this into the end of the day. Bulls still close green. Daily support is going to be at low of day, which is 832 and 763 is the previous support. 4-hour time frame. Take a nice little bit of time to consolidate here at 913. So that is going to be an important level for us tomorrow, assuming we stay in the range of 1121 to 913. It's going to be a hourly higher low as well, almost an hourly double bottom. And there's that action that really shows you the formation of today's candlestick. We see an open, we see a run, we see a pullback, and then we see sideways action. Very similar to what we saw on APT. Or maybe not APT, was it Lake? Yes. Big run up, initial interest, that surge, that burst of interest from people who have been reading about coronavirus tickers. And we know that we don't want to buy when our 5-minute RSI is overbought. We want to wait for higher lows to form, like we see here and here and here, and we catch those little trades and we look for trend changes, the loss of higher lows, to initiate consolidation. That's how we use technical analysis. Even in these names, we're expecting great things on the daily time frame. We can find our most optimal entries, and we can recognize when we maybe shouldn't be making our entries in the form of 5-minute RSIs. Congratulations, bulls. I would be hesitant to expect another big day tomorrow. It may come, it may not. Be prepared for all scenarios. But one thing we do need to know and discuss and just be aware of is that names that run up this fast can also just come down as easily as they went up. Anyway, apologies for the late video. Better late than never, maybe. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll chat with you tomorrow.